Good evening, everyone. Warm welcome to the monthly course demo webinar. My name is Jayakumar. I'll be one of the hosts for this webinar today. So, along with me, I'll have Mr. Mubeen, who is my colleague and technology head at Emertxe. So, we both typically run this particular webinar towards end of every month, mainly to give two objectives. One is to give you guys a view about how the core electronics and semiconductor industry is working on in terms of the job market trends, etc. And how these organizations with a longer term roadmap, they continue to hire even though we are going through a lot of challenges in form of economic slowdown, recession, and things like that, and how these jobs are very much different from what a typical IT services jobs are, right? So we spend some time on that to give you a big picture. Followed by that, we'll get into the course related details. Course in the sense basically how Emerge's course is structured, how various modules are getting delivered. Especially when you're going through an online course, I'm pretty sure you'll have a lot of questions in terms of how the classes will be conducted, how the labs will be conducted, and then how you can ask doubt from the mentors and things like that. So all those things we'll be clarifying as a part of this particular program. And as much as possible, we want to keep it interactive. So what I'll do, I'll stop by at a logical intervals. You can basically understand whenever you have any questions, right? You can just type it in the chat window. Okay, so that way we can keep on answering those queries and move on. And you don't need to wait for me to ask that question anytime of the presentation. You guys feel any questions, you can just feel free to type it in the chat window. Okay, just 1 minute. Let me just do one small thing, and then we move on. Just a minute, guys. All right. So let us move on. To start with, it is important for us to understand what Emertxe is all about. Many of you would have done good amount of research about Emertxe and what Emertxe is all about. But still, I would like to briefly talk a bit about Emertxe. So we are an education company. We have been in this education segment for more than 20 years now. From the beginning, we have been aspiring to solve two problems that we've been facing. One is in India, as you all know, we have become a country of engineers. Every year in India, we have about 15 lakhs engineering graduates come out of the college every year. So where we offer hands-on training programs in areas like embedded systems, IoT, and full stack development, and make their engineers employable. That's the first problem we aspire to solve. The second problem we aspire to solve is the upskilling problem, where students who get into a job but they're not happy with the job profile. For example, somebody would have got a campus interview in, let us say, a company, a services company working on, let us say, an application debugging or technical support. He want to transition his career, her career into a core embedded systems or semiconductor domain. So for these people, we they take this course more in an upskilling mode, where they change their profile, give a complete new look into the resume, and then what they achieve something called as a career transition. For the employability, as you know, freshers, it's about getting them the first job, whereas for the upskilling, audience, it is more of a career transition. They already have a job, but they are transitioning into another industry and another job. Of course, we also been offering customized training programs for corporate organizations. Over the years, we delivered different training type of training programs for corporate organizations at entry level, mid level, and senior level. For example, we've been a corporate training partner with Robert Bosch for more than 9 years. And a couple of months back, our team had delivered a very good, lateral customized training program for a company like HCL Technologies, where experienced engineers attended the program and things like that. Right? So that's what we do. And any technology, any training that we do, we ensure that the picture that is depicted is what is followed, where you can see the hand making a pot, right? We believe to make every education program that we run is very much a hands-on program, because we strongly believe when you make the education hands-on, the engagement level will be very high, motivation of the student also will be very high, so that we'll be able to drive outcome. And definitely, when you are making a pot, it won't come out well in the first time. That's where our mentors come into place. They help you to go through the learning part. Whatever the challenges and failures that you have, you're allowed to take that challenges, and then eventually emerge as a expert engineer or a person who is making this beautiful pot. Okay, so that's about our philosophy. So moving about our leadership team, three of us are part of our leadership team. Mr. Maz is the founder and the managing director of the organization. He heads the company and primarily looks into the business related responsibilities. In my responsibilities, I am Jayakumar, part of the leadership team. I have about 24 years of work experience, which can be divided into two phases. The first phase, almost for 12 and a half years, I worked with my typical corporate career, largely in the domain of embedded systems. Started my career with a company called Ishoni Networks, worked there for about 2 years. Then I switched to HP Hewlett Packard, where I spent about 7.5 years. And then I went to Huawei Technologies, where I spent about 3.5 years. So net put together about 12.5 years of experience I had these three companies. So in my last assignment in Huawei, I was a group manager or a senior manager for the embedded Linux portfolio, where I was leading a team of about 60 engineers for building the firmware and customizing the kernel for various Huawei's product lines. Okay, so before that, I played different roles as an engineer, senior engineer, lead engineer, program managers, and stuff like that. Working on various layers of embedded systems, including the device drivers, middleware, networking, network protocol, protocol stacks, and things like that. Okay. So that's my experience. And last 12 years, I've been with Emertxe, and it's been a great journey. It's more of an entrepreneurial mode because I always wanted to do something in the field of education. And that's when I met Maz, and we have the shared vision, and then we joined this organization. Right? So in Emertxe, currently my role involves taking care of the end-to-end delivery, where I have a team of mentors, about 70 mentors we have, who are involved in various aspects of embedded systems and IoT. We also have a team for the web stack developers or the full stack training programs. So these mentors, work with the students, primarily ensuring the classroom and the labs are done properly in terms of our quality standards, scheduling, and things like that. And we have managers, middle managers in terms of program managers, scrum masters and assistant managers with whom we closely work to ensure that the classes and labs are happening fine. Okay, that's one of my responsibility. Second primary responsibility is about the student success team, where we are a team of counselors who work with the mentors and also with the students in terms of primarily the soft skill training delivery, and also taking care of the student counselings, and also providing with any kind of an operational support and things like that. Okay, that's the second team which I handle. And third team is about placements. Again, placement consists of two aspects. One is like whatever the internal placement operations, floating an application, shortlisting the students and things like that, and more of an external responsibility where talking with the clients, understanding their future projections, what skill set they require, and how we can fulfill their requirements, and then how we can grow together. So that's a broad responsibility I handle as a part of university at this junction. So along with me and Mr. Mas, we have Mr. Mubeen, who is our technology head. Mubeen also has more than 20 years of work experience. I would let Mubeen speak a few words about him. Mubeen, are you there?
Yes, Jay, hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible, Mubeen. Go ahead.
So, good evening, all, and welcome to today's course demo webinar. Um, I work as a technology head at Emertxe. I'm having around 20 plus years of work experience. It's been almost closer to 14 plus years. I'm working in Emertxe as a technology head. At Emertxe, I used to manage the technical team who is responsible for the delivery of trainings in different areas, including embedded systems, IoT, and full stack web application development. Prior to working at Emertxe, I have worked in two other companies. One is Novel, and other is HP. Primarily working as a software engineer and as a lead engineer, and contributing to different projects as well as open source based applications. At Novel, I was working for a team who was developing software based on Linux in the Linux portfolio. So at Novel, I used to work as an engineer to resolve software issues for SUSE Linux and Linux groupware based applications. Post that, I worked in HP for closer to 4 plus years, and in HP I worked in two teams. Initially, I worked as a software developer in one of the products which catered to document workflow management and network-based application, as well as I worked as a lead engineer in HP as Linux Spring Scanfax device driver. So primarily, I'm coming from a development background, contributing to several projects in Linux open source as well as different portfolio like Linux device drivers, application development for groupware software as well as document workflow management software as well. I joined back to like Emertxe as a technical head. Initially, I was fortunate to work in the product segment of Emertxe before we started our training portfolio. We used to do product development, so where we used to create our own embedded hardware as well as software. So I started my journey as a software architect, primarily to develop embedded software stack based on Linux. Suppose that I started working as a like a technology head for the training segment, wherein my responsibility was primarily to manage the technical team as well as create the content for the courses which we offer. So right now, I continue to basically contribute in the technical team by creating new course contents and also improving the course pedagogy, as well as creating new projects as well as new courses for our different audiences. So that's it about me, and I'll be happy to answer your queries related to the offerings what we have. And also, I'll walk you through the course delivery method as well as also through the learning management portal which we give access to our students. So over to you, Jay. You can proceed, then I will continue my session.
All right, thank you, Mubeen. Thanks for introduction, and let us move on. So one of the important strengths that we have built over the years is about having a very good set of placement companies. Some of the logos are flashed in the screen. You can say these logos primarily involve in 3 to 4 buckets. Buckets in the sense like categories of companies. Some of companies are the ones which you called as MNC companies who are having their development center in India. For example, company like Qualcomm, company like Chelsea, company like LG, and things like that. And there are also a lot of mid-sized companies who do a lot of development work out of India. Company like Avin Systems and Arif Semiconductor and things like that. And we have a lot of startup companies and entrepreneurial ventures who are hiring our students, and also Indian companies who are having their embedded division or what you call the engineering R&D company like HCL, company like Tech Mahindra. They've been participating in the recruitment over the years. Okay. So this is a snapshot of the companies. Just want to flash in the screen. These logos keep changing. I would request you to take a look into our social media pages. I'll also walk you through briefly as a part of my presentation, so that you get to know what is the latest set of companies which are hiring, and what is what are the kind of calendar. Even we publish our hiring calendar in the in the open website. You can check that as well. Okay. So these are you can say logos. For example, Leica Wireless, last week onward they've been conducting their hiring drive, and we have Toshiba has come I guess today. So companies keep coming. Okay. And in terms of this is Indian big companies, company like Tech Mahindra, when it's even say TCS, they primarily hire for the embedded division. Okay. Embedded engineers are what you call as a engineering R&D division. Okay. So this is a snapshot. Okay. So hope you got a view about an introduction about Emertxe. Now let us spend some time and talk about what is happening in the job market. Okay. Definitely, it is not a very good situation overall. You can see whenever you open a news channel or a WhatsApp group, right? Every day we have so many things happening around the world in terms of the geopolitics, in terms of some type of policy making, and the war situation that is happening. Kindly note, everything that happens around the world, it affects all the economies, because today every economy is connected with the other the global economy. We are no longer working in an isolated world. So that way, definitely we are going through a challenging time. There's no doubt about it. If you look at the typical IT company, what we talk about, these companies are going through a challenge where pretty much all the mass recruitment which those companies used to do every year from the campuses has stopped. Okay. Having said that, you need to understand we are targeting a different job market. So when you say different job market, I would like to precisely define, and we can say it is a semiconductor and the devices market. So when you say semiconductor and devices market, you can divide into two buckets. So one is what you call companies which make the semiconductors or the chipsets, where there's companies can also called as the hardware companies, and along with making the chipsets, they also make the appropriate board or the reference platform, which actually typically used by the device companies to make products. For example, a company like ARM, a company like Microchip, a company like NXP, a company like Qualcomm. So they come under semiconductor category, whereas companies, for example, Toshiba or Sharp or even Harman, right? Samsung. So these kind of or LG, they more come under the devices sector because they use the semiconductor platform or a chipset provided by the semiconductor companies, and then they build their products around that. Okay. So if you look at this segment, it is expected to grow quite well. For the past 4 years, it's been going at around 10%, and now it is expected to grow about 20%, largely driven by manufacturing because India is not only about doing the software, it's also about doing the manufacturing. You can see a lot of places where electronics companies or semiconductor companies establishing the manufacturing plants, which is giving a lot of employment. Okay? So definitely there are some challenges due to the recession, but compared to the typical IT segment, we are doing far well. And my request to all the participants today is to not to compare yourself with the IT industry. We are very different from that industry. So this is a high level trend. Now, breaking it down to the job roles, if you see in the past, we had the distribution between the hardware and software. There is nothing but the VLSI engineer and embedded engineer. It was there. You can see embedded consists of about 65% percentage of the overall design and development job market, and then remaining 35% is held by the VLSI or the chief design engineers. So that is how the ratio was, which continue to remain more or less same and grow further. Having said that, you also see the AI and ML coming into picture. Okay. You can see the 5% of the percentage of the jobs are going to be from the AL and ML engineer. Right? Again, you may be surprised because how come ANML is related to the semiconductor company. In fact, it has started long, deep connections with the semiconductor companies because semiconductor companies basically provide these, ANML companies a data platform or a hardware platform on top of which they run their various machine learning models and things like that. Okay. And added to that, at a product level, there are a lot of interesting products that are getting innovated in the intersection of embedded systems and AI. Last Friday I was talking about a company who are working on image processing. So typically image processing when they do, they try to apply some algorithms and try to make it better. Now they're going one step beyond. They're basically using AI data models to make the images much more cleaner, much more better, right? The quality of the images when you edit, right, it will look far better. So like that, there are a lot of use cases are coming up in the intersection of embedded systems and AI. So that means to say that this segment also will see a good amount of AI jobs coming in. Okay. Another point I also want to clarify because we get to ask this question in our classroom and in any webinar that we do is about will AI take away my job? Because you're already seeing a lot of news media, newspaper, etc., where AI is taking away jobs. Definitely, it is taking away. Kindly note the type of job it is taking away are more repetitive and mundane in nature. Okay. Whereas our job or the job we are targeting, it is more of a high-end job, which involves complex hardware software combination and developing a customized software for a customized hardware, where still the AI impact is not there. The AI's impact is more coming in form of a hardware requirement or a product development. It's not coming as a threat to the job. So my request is to see AI and ML as an opportunity, especially for the semiconductor and devices industry, and it is going to only grow more in the coming years. Okay. So don't see it as a threat, see it as an opportunity. So these are some of the media stuff which was there a while back in terms of in India requiring so much of engineers, skilled engineers by 2027 because this is going to play a vital role in enabling the semiconductor revolution in India. Because we saw the software boom or the software growth. So followed by that, they expect the this particular segment to drive more employment in India. So this is more of a high-level picture with respect to the placement companies, right? But this is more of a realistic graph that we show in every monthly webinar. Okay? In Emertxe, The placement information is pretty much transparent. As I said, you can even go to our website and see all the information is already provided there, right? But you can also see here, this is a realistic data. So this graph primarily talks about the number of companies that are visiting every month at Emerge. Okay. You can see the blue color agenda belongs to the year 2024, whereas the red color one comes to talk about the year 2025. Where, for example, this month we are almost at two-thirds of the month done, and one-fourth of the month need to go. So we had 46 sorry, we had 46 companies coming and participating in our placements, right? So previously we had 55 companies in the month of June, 73 in the month of May, 66, 56, 63, 55 respectively. Okay. So that is how the placement companies have been visiting, and definitely, definitely we would like to see it better, because given the market circumstances, we are still pushing and trying these opportunities. But definitely, if the market becomes better, definitely we can also expect more. Okay. So the point of showing this particular screen is to ensure that, or confirm that, whatever the placement information that we have, it is very much transparent, and we maintain consistently across all the platforms and all the teams over the years. Okay. So it is where anytime you have any questions, any student there, feel free to come and clarify themselves. Okay. So this is the overall situation. Here, interesting point to note is, among all the companies which have come, right, around 40% of the companies, we did a statistics, we continued to do a lot of analysis. Around 40% of the companies actually do not care about year of pass out or percentage. So as long as you can showcase your skill set and demonstrate your capability to the company, they're ready to hire you. For example, there could be students who are from older batches, let's say 2018 or 2020. These students should not worry at all, because companies are no longer looking for a year of pass out, or a percentage. They pretty much look at the skill that you are bringing into the table. Whether that skill can come from a fresher, they'll take it, or if the skill can come from somebody else also, they will take it. So the game is played with respect to skill, game. So that's what all of you should get used to, because I'm pretty sure when if you take a survey in your batch, there will be a lot of students who are from the older batches. There's absolutely nothing to worry. Right? Just follow what our mentors are telling. Definitely, you will be able to crack a good placement. So, having said that, some of the recent success stories, it is, earlier I used to store it in my laptop and show it as a part of the webinar, but these days I show what I call as a live data. So we can go to our Instagram page and then see what is happening recently. Hope all of you are subscribed to our Instagram. If not, you can take a look. Recently, if you see, students got into companies like Qualcomm, Chelsea Communications, where either the, for example, student like Anandu Ajit, who are a fresher, who got into that as a fresh engineer. Whereas we also have success stories coming from students like Pratik or Krishnan Unni, where they were working in a particular company. You can see Pratik was working in Bosch, and Krishnan Unni was working in Infosys. So they're able to achieve the career transition. You see, this is some of the recent success stories. Of course, you can go down and then see more and more experience sharing, which and all the companies came, right? And then you can even click here and then see this, right? So many opportunities are coming up every month, and then this many students are getting placed. Okay. You can take a look. In case you're not subscribed, so please feel free to subscribe at Instagram.com or Emertxe ID. Towards the end, I'll again share the link as well as the QR code. In case if you're not shared, right, you are more than welcome to come and subscribe to our channel. Okay. So this is about the placement updates under various categories: a fresh engineer or working professional who are achieved the career transition, and we also have a lot of students who are from the older batch. For example, students who are from the 2018 pass out, 19 pass out. So they also come to our course. So they also achieve a basically career break. In order to by upskilling themselves. So this is a small snapshot for your reference. Okay. You can go and check. In case you have not seen our Instagram, feel free to go and take a look, and then make your own choices. Okay. So that's about the success stories and how the job market is heading, and how much amount of jobs that are getting opened in this particular segment. So with this note, I would like to pause my presentation. Are there any questions? I see already some questions have come up. So So let me take those questions and then probably I'll hand over to Mubeen for his section. Okay. There's a question from Manikanta Bharati. He's telling, is this course mainly focused on embedded systems or does it also cover IoT in detail? I'm specifically interested in IoT. No worries, Manikanta. Our course, between the IoT course and also between the embedded course, there is a slight delta. So in this webinar, we are going to talk about both. Okay. Whereas majority of the aspects are common between the courses, I'll also touch base upon skill set and also you know the module flow will be slightly different in our IoT course. We'll go back to that. Don't worry. Okay. Okay. I was 2024 pass out. Is there any issue regarding placements? I don't see any issues, Sanjay Reddy. As I mentioned, as long as you follow the instructions given by your mentors, definitely the 40% of the companies do not care about these aspects. So if you're able to demonstrate your skill sets, so definitely you'll get into all these organizations, any one of these organizations. Okay. Okay. So what is the difference between online and offline courses? Ask because just wait for some time because let Mubeen explain the pedagogy and how it will be part of it, right? So we'll get to know that, right? So Akash is asking, ARTAS will be covered. That's an interesting question because we are in the process of forming a changes in our course where ARTAS and the STM32 based microcontroller programming is going to enter and it's going to replace our existing PIC microcontroller module. Okay. So we are not yet implemented. It is in transition. So soon we'll start implementing the module. So where you'll get to know definitely your RTOS as well. So we are going to use a free RTOS, I guess. So joining in August, no problem. So I'm third year EC student, want to take this course. Am I eligible to take? Ask Tipa already. Yes, definitely Tipa. You can do that. In fact, we strongly encourage students to do that because by the time they finish their engineering and they're ready for the job market, they'll be far ahead of the job market compared to our batchmates. So utilize your third year or utilize your final year by being part of our course. Ramesh is asking, sir, can you tell me about embedded roadmap? Wow, it's a long question. So again, embedded has got a different type of industries and domain. I mentioned some of them include, automotive, telecom, Internet of Things, EV, electric vehicles, etc. In all these organizations, there are a lot of engineering activities that are happening in terms of development, testing, verification. Again, when I say development, there are a lot of low level, middle level, upper layer, etc. So there's a plenty of job opportunities are there. Ramesh, if I explain this, will take quite some time. Let us see if time permits. We can try to take it in the Q&A section. Okay. So which microcontrollers Krishna Nagi is asking. So as I said, as of now, we are in PIC, but going forward, we will be transitioning to STM32 and RTOS. Okay. Same question from Darshan. So I'm still pursuing college. Can I join the course? Yes, you can. No problem. So Akhil is asking 2025 21 pass out with 2.5 years experience. Some gap is there. Is it fine? Absolutely fine because we also have a lot of students who have achieved the career break now or achieved the career start right by having a big career break. Now again, career break come due to many reasons, personal reasons, right? Or any other company related issues and things like that. Doesn't matter as long as you are able to upskill yourself and showcase your skill in the entry panel. Definitely, they'll be able to consider you. Okay. Mm. Senthil Kumar asking, sir, average students are placed immersive information technologies. I don't know what your question is. Are you asking how many students are getting placed? Senthil, you can be clear your question. The screen is not visible. Yes, I minimized it. Okay, because after this Q&A, Mubeen will be taking over. Okay. You need the screen share. So Tipparet is asking, sir, embedded or VLSI, which one is the best for freshers to take our first job? It depends on your interest. For example, if you're a person who would like to define chipsets and create simulations and finally come up with the silicon, the final silicon, VLSI is for you. Whereas you are a person who are interested in a bit of programming, want to explore domains, want to really see some cool things working in front of your eyes, then embedded systems is your choice. Okay. So both the domains are very good. They are all doing quite well. Okay. I think what we'll do, we'll pause here. I still see a lot of questions asked here, but I don't want to disappoint you guys. So what we'll do is I'll hand it over to Mubeen. Let Mubeen walk you through the course related details. And after that, I'll come and pick it up. Probably that time we'll cover the remaining questions. Okay. So Mubeen, can you take over?
Yeah, sure, Jay. Thanks. Can you make me the presenter? Hope my screen is visible to you.
Yes, Mubeen, it's visible.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. So I will start with my topic agenda. So primarily what I'll be doing is I'll walk you through the course pedagogy, which you will be going through if you are enrolled as part of the course. And I also will share a brief summary of what modules we'll be learning as part of the course. And following that, I'll also share a small recording session of some of one or two course snippets which we have recorded, and we can watch those videos to get a first-hand information of how the classes are delivered in online mode. And in the end, I will also share a snapshot of the learning management system which you will get access to once you're enrolled for the course. To begin with, let's get into the course pedagogy or the learning model which we follow in Emertxe. So we deliver both embedded systems and IoT course, both in online and offline mode. But in terms of learning outcome and the delivery method, we follow the same process. On a daily basis, you will have to attend the class and lab sessions. So class and lab sessions will be either online or offline depending upon which mode of delivery you have chosen. So in the class, the mentor will start explaining the concepts in a detailed manner. So you can pay attention to what mentor is explaining, and you can also practice what has been taught in the class. So our class sessions are not like a theoretical session wherein you will be just listening to what the mentor is explaining. We want you to understand it and apply it practically in a live manner. So you have to use a laptop or the system and practice whatever has been taught in the class. So this is the kind of delivery model which you use, unlike other traditional models wherein you attend 1 hour of session and after that you will have a separate lab session. We don't use that approach. We integrate the hands-on practical part along with the class itself. Now there is a dedicated lab session also wherein you will be working on things practically, like you'll have to work on assignments and projects in the lab session. Now, to really understand why we are doing this, right? We have to understand what is the objective of your enrollment for the course, right? And why companies hire candidates with a specific set of skill set, and what are the expectations from the companies as well, right? So when, let's say, you are applying for a job and you want to crack the interviews, interview is going to not just evaluate your theoretical skills, but interviewer will also look for your practical skills. Now, when you want to crack the interview, yes, there will be some straightforward questions in terms of the topics which you learned, but more often they will want to evaluate you in terms of how you have learned things in a practical way. So what we do is in every module, we'll assign you at least 2 projects as part of the module. And by the end of the course, easily you can complete around 10 projects and you can showcase them in your resume. So this is something which we have made it part of the course delivery itself, right? Some of the modules you can see that you will learn the topics, but before learning the topics, the project are explained. So we'll first explain the project and work backwards to complete the project, right? So it's kind of like project-based course pedagogy we are using, right? It's a unique approach. So in summary, you will be having class and lab sessions, but our goal is to make you learn things practically and complete the assignments and project so that you are confident of clearing the interviews, as well as when you get a job, you're capable of enough to start working on real projects which the company demands you to work on. Apart from assignments and project, we will also give you access to test. The tests can be of different categories. It could be objective test wherein you have MCQ questions, and you can also do programming based test also. So objective tests are mostly required to evaluate your understanding at a conceptual level, and this will also help you in clearing the interviews. In when you apply for a placement company, typically they will have initial screening round wherein you have to clear objective test as well as programming test. So we will ensure that you are given enough objective test, which will help you to evaluate your understanding as well as it will help you to crack the interviews. Now, this is about class and lab delivery and what we'll be doing in terms of activities as part of the course, right? You will have other tests also like module tests, which will be given at the end of the module. Now, the challenge what learners or students face is that, let's say you complete the lab and labs class and lab session, but you go home or you're separately working in basically in your PG, etc. You will get stuck, right? More this is quite natural and common for many of the students. So he wanted to ensure that you are able to get support not just during the class and lab session. We will provide access to discussion forums and chat platforms as well, wherein you can post your queries in the discussion forum. Our mentors, as well as your batchmates or other basically students which are part of another batch, will be there to respond to your queries. So this is quite powerful in terms of learning outcome, right? Otherwise, what typically happens is that if yes, you can always use like a AI based support like ChatGPT, etc., to receive the answers, but it's important that you are getting the answer within a short period, right? And you are getting like personalized answers. By using the online support mechanism, you'll get like the right answers from the mentors as well as you can expect answer from your batchmates as well. So this is something which you can exclusively utilize during the course as well. This is about the support mechanism. Support will be provided to both online as well as offline students. In terms of our placement preparation, yes, you will be learning the concepts and completing the modules, but it's important that you become placement ready. To make you placement ready, we will conduct placement specific activities, including like placement eligibility test will be conducted, mock interviews will be conducted, prep sessions will be conducted, and so on. Now, uh, how do you basically become confident in attending interviews, right? This is something many students ask. Yes, I know many concepts, but somehow I'm not sure what mistake I'm doing in the interview, right? So if you want to get feedback about your performance in the interview, you can very well attend the mock interviews which will be conducted by mentors. So this way you will get first-hand feedback about your performance in mock interviews, which you can implement in further subsequent interviews, and your chances of clearing the real interview becomes more positive, right? So this is something which we have included as part of our course as well, right? And with respect to placement support, we have a dedicated placement team which will closely work with you as well as the company in scheduling the interviews, in like sharing the right information which is required for you to crack the interview as well. We also have a student success team who will be working closely with you in terms of monitoring your performance and giving the feedback and hand-holding you throughout the course. It is not just about you attending the classes or labs. At times, students require some counseling and hand-holding, which will be provided by our student success team as well. And you can seek help from them in a non-technical way. It could be your counseling sessions, etc., which you can plan and seek further support. So overall, we have a practical, well-defined course pedagogy, and we have multiple support channels as well as different departments working closely with you. It is not just the technical team who is going to deliver the content. There are other teams like student success team and placement team who will be closely working with you to make you successful in terms of achieving your course outcome. Now, with respect to the courses, embedded systems and IoT, it's up to you to decide which course you want to choose, right? both have equal opportunities in terms of placements. In embedded system course, we are having 7 to 8 modules, 7 modules for the online students and 8 modules for the offline batch of students. One extra module is added, which is QT for the offline batch students, but it it is not making much of a difference. It's something which we have just added for the offline students. Now, these are the modules which will be taught in the embedded systems course, right? One is Linux basics. So in Linux basics, it's a short course. We wanted to give an introduction about Linux, how to use the commands, and what are the features which the bash shell provides, etc. will be taught in a brief level. So you'll be teaching you about the command line interface, and you'll get familiar with the Linux development environment as such, right? Many a time, right, working on Linux will give an edge compared to working on user inter GUI based applications. Now, to start with, we will teach you C programming from scratch. So C is the like a preferred language for developing embedded systems, and it has been existing since last 50 years. But now also C is the preferred language and prominent language to develop embedded systems. We'll teach you basics of C as well as advanced concepts as well as problem solving, which will help you to solve complex problems as well. Apart from C, we'll teach you C++ programming and primarily focusing on object-oriented programming concepts. And C++ also is becoming popular in embedded system development. So after C++, we teach you data structure programming, wherein you learn about concepts like ADTs, stacks, queues, linked lists, searching, sorting algorithms, etc., which will help you to design more complex applications. Please note, whatever we teach is being we have thought through what is actually required for an embedded system engineer and created the curriculum. After data structures, you will learn about microcontrollers. I think some questions were asked as to which microcontroller we are going to use, etc. So please note that whichever microcontroller you use, the concepts and the approach you're going to use to develop embedded application to remain the same. So if you look at a controller, a certain controller will have its own instruction set, and all these controllers you'll be able to interface with some standard set of peripherals. For example, you have general purpose input output. You can interface with devices using different protocols like I2C, SPI, CAN, etc. Whichever controller you use, you will have to learn certain fundamental concepts like architecture, peripheral interfacing, protocols, etc., which more or less remains the same across the controllers, right? Yes, in terms of basically programming approach, there could be slight differences. So we take a generic approach of teaching microcontrollers, and we teach a microcontroller based upon PIC and ARM platforms. Now, after microcontroller programming, we teach Linux internals. Linux operating system concepts at a high level will be covered in terms of subsystems and in terms of process management, memory management, learn about the concepts, as well as we will be writing applications which will be multi-threaded and multi-process based applications. Apart from learning about process management, memory management, etc., you'll also learn about networking concepts like TCP/IP and the likes. Now, when you talk about network programming, it is not just about learning the theoretical concept about TCP, UDP, etc. You should know how to implement client-server applications. So our course also includes socket programming related concepts, wherein you learn about writing multiple applications. One is a client application, other is a server application, which will interact with each other. In the end, you learn about embedded Linux and ARM, which mostly focuses on building Linux from scratch. So given a specific board or a hardware, many a time you will end up building your own custom software stack based upon open source software like open source bootloaders like U-boot, open source operating system like Linux. And on top of it, you'll build your own basically applications with the help of certain tools like Buildroot and Yocto. So this module will focus on building your own custom Linux for a given hardware. Now we will be using several tools and hardware as part of the course. For example, in microcontrollers, we will be using different IDs and emulators, etc., which I'll be showcasing in one of the videos shortly. So this is what you're going to learn as part of the course, embedded system course. For the IoT course, many of the subjects are overlapping, like C programming, C++ programming, Linux, etc. is overlapping. But there are some differences in terms of additional modules which we are going to cover as part of the IoT course. So there is an overlap, but there are differences as well. So in the IoT course, we are focusing mostly on developing end-to-end IoT applications. So where connectivity plays an important role, we have, yes, microcontroller based applications developed, but these applications should be able to communicate with other devices as well as should be able to communicate with the cloud infrastructure. So connectivity protocol like Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, MQTT, etc. plays an important role here. So to highlight the major differences, yes, we will teach you importantly about IoT architecture and the IoT ecosystem at a high level, and then we'll move on to the core modules like Linux systems, Linux basics, C programming, C++, etc. So apart from C and C++, we will be teaching you Python programming in IoT course, which is an additional programming language we'll be learning. So why Python? Because Python is used in developing more complex applications. So in the gateway module, we'll be using Python as the programming language. Plus, you can integrate with our devices, other devices, as well as with the cloud using Python. In terms of microcontroller programming in IoT module, we will be using Arduino and ESP32 to develop the embedded applications because they have rich peripheral support as well as connectivity is support is more with the ESP32 controllers. And we'll be focusing on Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, and integration with IoT gateway and mobile application as well as cloud in this course as well. After Arduino module, we will teach you IoT gateway and protocols. In IoT gateway and protocol module, we will use an approach of integrating with multiple nodes or sensors. Here we will use a Linux-based operating system running on Raspberry Pi or on a Linux desktop as a gateway module, which can be like connected with different devices like Arduino devices using several protocols, be it wired or wireless protocols. Similarly, this gateway will also communicate with the cloud using MQTT, HTTP, and CUAP protocols as well. In the end, we will teach you about IoT cloud platform setup and configuration. We will use multiple IoT cloud platforms like Arduino Cloud Platform and platforms like AWS or Azure platform, which have like dedicated services for cloud, like data ingestion, device management, etc. is part of these cloud platforms. Eventually, as you can see here, yes, there is an overlap between embedded systems and IoT, but in IoT course, we are more focused on developing end-to-end IoT based applications. So this is in summary about IoT and embedded systems course modules. If any questions, feel free to post in the Q&A window. We'll be there happy to answer your queries. So let me quickly share.
These are the
demo of the C programming module as well as microcontroller module. So what we're trying to showcase is that this is a live class which was delivered for the C programming course. We're just sharing, let's say, 10 minutes of a video. You can just have a look at it and see how you can learn things not just in the offline mode as well as in the online mode. Learning effectiveness remains the same. So give me a moment.
Total memory allocated. Now, after an array has been declared, maybe I want to give the values into the array because just the array's declaration will have garbage value. Assume I take int array of size 5. Okay, there has to be 20 bytes of memory allocated. Assume this is the 20 bytes of memory allocated for the array. So I am storing 5 integers. So each integer takes how many bytes? Each integer takes how many bytes? Correct. So each integer takes 4 bytes. So if the starting address of the array is 1000, where will be the next element present? If the starting address of the array is 1000, where will be the next element present? Assume this is 1000. Where will be the next element present? Yes, each of the element uses 4 bytes. So it is 1004, then 1008, 1012, 1016. To access the array's element, you have to go with something called as the index number. An index number varies between 0 to size -1. So very first element will be in index 0, second element will be in index 1, third element will be in index 2, fourth element will be in index 3, and fifth element will be in index 4. Okay? If you just declare the array like this, the array's element will have garbage value by default. So in order to not have a garbage value present inside the memory block, maybe I want certain values to made sit inside it. In such cases, I have to do the array's initialization. To initialize the array, here inside the curly braces, I have to give 5 elements: 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. In that case, that value will be written here. That will be 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. Okay, this is how I declare the array. This is how I do the initialization, and this is how the memory for the array will be allocated. Accessing happens with respect to the index number varying between 0 to size -1. See here, data type, name, size, where size represents the number of elements. So the total memory occupied by the arrays, number of elements multiplied by size of an element. That is in turn size into size of the data type. If this is the array I am going to take of 5 size with the values 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50, this will be the array. So the very starting address of the array always is called as the base address of the array. Base address 1000 will always be called as the base address of the array, or you can also call it as starting address or address of the very first element of the array. All of them means the same, but we usually refer it as base address. Okay, you can call it as base address, or you can call it as the starting address, or you also can call it as the address of first element. Okay, this starting address is called as the base address or starting address or address of the first element of the array. So then it is +4, +8, +12, +16. Index has to vary between 0 to size -1. So it has to be starting from 0. An array is a collection of similar data type. Elements occupy consecutive memory locations. First element will be in the lowest address and last element will be in the highest address. Elements are indexed from 0 to size -1. So if the size of the array is 5, index will vary from 0 to 4. Accessing out of the range array elements would be an illegal access. So whenever you have to access the elements of the array, you have to go with the name of the array, then the index number. Okay, so array of 0, array of 1, like this, you have to go with the index number. So if the index number varies between 0 to 4, I can access only between array of 0 to array of 4. Out of the boundary, that is accessing array of -1 or accessing array of 5 is not allowed It is an illegal access where you might get to see a error. So accessing out of the range array elements would be illegal access. You should not access the elements in array of -1 and array of size. And once the memory for the array is allocated, it can never be altered in the runtime. That is, while executing the program, the array size can never be modified. So if you declare an array like this, it will be 20 bytes of memory allocated for sure. So this size can never be altered throughout the program. Again, here in double denum of size 6, there will be 48 continuous bytes already allocated. You never get a chance to increase or decrease the size once it has been allocated. So this is the concept of array. Clear this much? Okay. So have this one noted. The next we will see is how to print the elements of the array. Okay. So there are different ways of printing the array's element, which we will be seeing shortly. Before that, have this one noted. So the next we have got is to print the array's element. So when you are supposed to print the array's element, we usually go with the name of the array and the index number. But that has to be done on a repetitive manner. So what is it necessary to be used? What is it necessary to be used if I have to print? Yes, loop is definitely necessary. So I can print the array's element in any of a loop considered. Observe. Okay. So first I try printing it in a for loop. Int array of size 5. I also do the initialization with 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50. I need another integer variable I for the sake of index. So I will first say it as printf arrays elements are. Okay. So I run a for loop for I is equal to 0, I less than 5 and I plus plus, because 5 is the size of the array. Inside this, I go with the printf. So printf %d \n, comma, array's name with index. Okay. So first array of 0 will be printed when I will have a 0 taken, then array of 1, then array of 2, array of 3, array of 4. When I becomes 5, 5 lesser than 5 will be condition false. You come out of the for loop. Observe the output here. So I am compiling and executing. These are the array's element which I am printing using a for loop. Let me change this. I try printing using.
So that was a short video about introduction to array topic, wherein the mentor explained how to create an array and how to store values inside the array, how to write a simple program to print the array elements as well. So please note, before taking arrays topics, there has been many other topics which are completed, like basics of data types, loops, printing, etc. has been already been covered. So using that context, you should be able to understand the concepts of arrays easily and follow what the mentor is explaining. This is how typically an online session of the C programming class looks like. Yes, we have cut down many interactions between the video. For example, mentors will be responding to the queries which are asked by students. Typically, you can see like a chat box, and people will be unmuting and asking questions during the session itself, which will be answered in the live session as well, just for your information. Now, what I'll do is I will share another clip for the microcontroller module, you can have a look at how the microcontroller module is explained in the online mode, and what tools we use to write the program, as well as to run the program using a simulator which is software based. So there are two options. One is like you can opt for the online course. Second is you opt for the offline course. In the offline course, you will be using like hardware which is provided to you. In the online course, it's not mandatory to purchase the hardware. We can use the simulator and practice all the programs using the simulator. You'll get the same output and response in the real hardware as well as the simulator without changing any of the code as well. So let me share that video also.
Hello everyone. In today's class, let's see how we can write an embedded program to toggle the LEDs connected to the code bit. So now to write the embedded program, we are going to use the tool MPLAB XID. So you can see here. So this is the MPLAB XID. If you open this, you will see this as a starting page. So some projects are mentioned here, data sheet is available here. Even if you worked on some recent project, that list is available. See, and even you will get the microchip login. So if you have a login ID password, you do the login, and you can do the purchase on a microchip website, fine? Okay, so now let me go back to the question. So question was, we wanted to toggle the LEDs connected to the port D. So now here in this MPLAB ID, you can see these are the different tools available. So we can use these tools as per the requirement. For example, this is to create a new file. It's to create a new project. It is to open the project. This option is to do the build. You can see different many options are there. So as per the need, what we will do, we will take an approach. Whatever we need it, we will start using those things. Now here, in this MPLAB XID, I already created a project and kept it ready. So project name is what? LEDs. So in this project, I created. When this project is created, this MPLAB XID create some organized sections. You can see here. So now to write this program, to write the embedded code, we need a main.c. So generally, .c files goes here in the source file sections. Header files goes here, make file will go here, linker script will go to this section, or if you need any libraries, if you are planning to add any libraries, then those goes into this section, and finally this is the place for your executable file. So let me go to the main.c. So you can double click and open the main.c in the editor window. So now you can see I'm defining two macros. So instead of using port D directly, so what I did, since if you see the hardware, on the hardware, so you are having total 16 LEDs. So this is the Pixel Lab simulator board. So it's having total 16 LEDs. So currently we are going to toggle LEDs connected to the port. These are the 8 LEDs out of 16. So these 8 LED array we are going to toggle. Toggling means on off we are going to do. So now since I'm having 8 LEDs, I'm defining the micro LED array as a port D, and to give the direction to the port pins, there is a register trace D. I'm defining that with name LED array data direction register. Now you can see here comes my main. So here I'm calling init config function. So this function is to do the initialization. So what we are doing, so in main itself, we are not doing initialization. It doesn't look good. So there is a separate dedicated function to do the initialization. It is init config. So control will go here and here. In this init config, so initially what we are doing, if we are using LED, we need to set the pin direction as output. So I'm writing my LED array data direction register as a 0. It will set port D pin as the output, and to start with initially I will keep all LEDs connected to the port D as the off. So to turn off the LED, I need to load 0. So I'm writing here 0. So LEDs remain off fine, and here comes our while one. So if you see any embedded system, once you turn on the embedded system, it runs forever, right? It goes into infinite loop. So here come my infinite loop while one. So inside this while one, we are going to write our application. So what is our application? We wanted to toggle the LED. So here is my instruction to toggle the LED. So I'm writing LED array equal to tilt of LED array. So what it will do? It will toggle the values of this LED array. If it is 0, it will make it 1. If it is 1, it will make it 0. So now you can see. So this is what 0 is 0 0. So after execution of this instruction, this LED array value becomes 0xFF. So entire port becomes 0xFF. All port bits become 1. So all LED turn on. LEDs are going to be turned on. And here what I'm doing. So before going to this instruction once again, I'm putting the delay. So if this delay is not there, what happens? We will not be able to see the LED toggling. So it will happen at very faster rate. Due to the persistence of region, we will not be able to capture it. So I added the delay. Then after this delay, what happened? Next time, since we are in the while one, control will go back here. So again, we are changing the LED array value from what? FF to 0. So now what happened? LED become off, then again delay. So like this way, we are making LEDs on, LEDs off. Fine. Now. So we have to build the code. We have to compile the code. How we can do? So here in this MPLAB XID, I install X8 compiler. So that's why the setter file is also included related to the compiler. So now how you can do the build? So you can see here is one option to do the build. So let me click on that. It will start doing build. My project is getting a build. Now you can see build is going on. So it will take some time. Please wait. Now see build is successful. That means your text file is created and even it will give you the memory summary of your project. So now my X file is created and it is loaded also. Now what we can do? So we can load that X file where in this board. So we can run that text file here in this microcontroller. So this is the heart of this board. So basically here we are using PIC16F877A microcontroller. So we are going to load the X file here. How? So you can go to the file, you can select the load X. You have to navigate wherever your project is stored. So let me navigate. So now just for the sake of simplicity, I kept the project on the desktop. So let me select that. Now again, you have to go to the distribute directory. So basically, you have to use this path. After build successful, it is prompting the path where X file is available. I'm just referring that. Then you have to go to the default production. Here is the X file. Let me open. Okay, expected output is what? These LEDs should toggle, but it's not happening. Why? Because these DIP switch related settings are not done. So to turn on the LEDs connected to the port D, this DIP switch, second one, you have to pull this switch up. So let me do that. So it's down. You have to pull it up. So let me select. Now you can see the change here. So what this program is doing, it's running in this microcontroller and it is toggling the LEDs. And even we are able to see that toggling very clearly, right? Okay, so this is our program, our embedded code to toggle the LEDs connected to the port D.
All right, so hope you were able to get a quick overview about what tools we're using for the microcontroller course in the online mode. Please note this was a very short video with an introduction to how to write a simple program to blink an LED based on PIC microcontroller. Now, in any development like board or any microcontroller which we choose, the process which you're going to follow remains the same, right? Initially, we have to understand how to interface the peripherals using the microcontroller, and you will be using an IDE to write the program, which is based on C. In this case, we used an IDE called as MPLAB IDE to write the application, and we compile the application. And after compiling the application, we should be able to run the application either on a real board or on a simulator. In this case, we used a simulator, which is open source simulator, which you can download and install it on your system. And we downloaded we loaded the program into the simulator, and we are able to run the program and see the blinking of LED seamlessly. It was a very small program, but I hope you got a complete picture of how to get started with microcontroller programming as well. So as I already told, the learning experience remains the same, be it using a simulator or be it using a real hardware. You'll not see much of a difference in terms of how the program is written and maybe how the program is executed as well. Now what I'll do is I will quickly run through the learning management portal what we have, and you can see what resources you have access to when you are enrolled for the course. Let me share the browser screen now. All right, so this is one of the courses which is nothing but advanced for a batch. If you look at a learning management portal, you will find access to several course resources, including like slides. Each course is divided into many chapters. As you can see here, let me do a collapse all, and you can see, right? So each course is divided into several chapters. Like in C programming, we are teaching basics, followed by functions and pointer basics, standard input output, etc. So each course is divided into separate chapters. In every chapter, you can access the materials related to that chapter. For example, you can see for basic refresher, you have access to the slides, you have access to like code and notes as well, right? So this is what we'll get access to. Apart from like access to slides, let me share like how the slides look like, right? Just for your reference. So you can have a look at one of the chapters of the C programming module. Here you can see like details about every topic which will be explained to you, like starting from the basics like number systems, right? So our slides are quite detailed and self-explanatory. You can refer these slides to understand several concepts. Right? For example, you can see it covers many basic concepts initially to start with, followed by topics like functions, conditionals, loops, etc. Similarly, you will get access to code. Code is also shared, and some notes are also will be shared to you as well. Importantly, you will get access to our virtual programming lab. So virtual programming lab is nothing but a browser-based IDE wherein you can write your program inside the IDE itself and test it, right? Let me share a snapshot of how a virtual programming lab looks like, right? Here you can see the description about the program is given, and you need to follow the instructions and complete the program. And you are also given access to test cases. Like, for example, when you enter a number 6, you should say whether it's a perfect number or not, right? And different test cases are given, right? Now, you can very well do this program on your system using IDE like Visual Studio Code, etc. But you also provided access to a online IDE wherein you can practice your program here itself, right? You might have seen like a lead code and other platforms. You can write your program here itself, you can execute it and test it whether the program is working or not. So you'll get access to the virtual programming lab environment as well, right? This is available both to online as well as offline students, right? So once you complete, you can see the completion will be marked here, and you can test all the programs and see whether they're working or not. So each program when you complete, you'll get grades as well, and you get access to other resources including quizzes. So if you look at C programming module, several quizzes will be assigned, like module objective test will be assigned, module test will be assigned, and programming test also will get assigned. So you can practice questions as well, right? So if you look at objective test 1, you can see you'll get a quiz wherein you can practice the questions and you'll get feedback about the answers as well, right? So all these resources will be available to you once you're enrolled for the course, right? So apart from that, you'll get access to recordings if you opted for the online course. So class recordings will be available. You can see here, class recording section is there. Class recording section will get access to all the course related videos. This is only applicable for the online students. So you have class recordings as well as you have lab recordings also. You can see here. Project explanation, all these videos are available to you. So this is in summary what you're going to receive as part of the LMS portal, and you also have access to discussion forums as well, wherein you can post your queries and mentors as well as other students will be there to answer your queries. We have discussion forums also available. So that's it from my side for now. If you have any queries related to the course, you can feel free to ask. We'll be happy to answer your queries. So maybe let me check what are the relevant questions, then I'll try to answer them.
Sure.
So there is a question from Santosh, in which way you can provide the online course to the working professionals, right? So working professionals, we run an evening batch suitable for working professionals. After completing your work, you can log in to our portal and you can connect. And the advantage of on joining the online course is that, as I already shared, you can very well attend the live sessions and complete the activities which is shared by the mentor. In case you miss some of the sessions, you can watch the videos later and complete the activities as well as go through the videos, right? Working professionals, the timings will be 7 to 9 p.m. class timings. So Rohit is asking the structure of the program. I think I already have explained the structure. Sendil Kumar is asking embedded systems and embedded AI. What is the difference, sir? Okay, it's an interesting question. So when you talk about artificial intelligence or AI, it is, I would say, an augmented technology we're going to get used along with the core technology, right? So core technology is embedded systems. Apart from that, if you want to integrate AI, it's possible to integrate AI with embedded systems as well. So when you talk about AI, yes, you can, for example, you can use machine learning algorithms to add intelligence to your software and connect with the cloud, etc., using embedded AI. Akhil is asking whether the course include Linux. Yes, I think I shared the course modules also. Linux is part of the course as well. Okay. Kushal is asking, can I join with low knowledge in field of programming? Yes. We don't expect students to have prior programming knowledge. We teach everything from scratch. Even if you don't have familiarity about programming language, it's not a problem. So Sri Raksha is asking, what is the coaching duration and does we get internship certificate too, right? And what is the timeline we're getting opportunity to get placement companies, right? So if you look at the course duration, typical course duration spans around 6 to 7 months. And after completing the course, you'll get a course completion certificate. But if you are a final year student, you can get enrolled for the internship come course program, and we'll provide an internship certificate as well. You can talk to our course counselors; they will guide you with respect to this. Now, if we have passed out student, we are not going to provide internship opportunities. You can directly enroll to our course. You can get a course completion certificate as well. So in both the cases, we will be going through the similar course contents, but for internship students, if required, we can showcase some specific projects as part of your internship as well. What are the timelines to get placement companies? We provide the placement opportunities for like 2 years post completion of the course. Okay, so let's say you complete a course today, we'll support you for placements up to 2 years as well till you get your first job. Then, okay, there are more questions. Let me just scroll through. So many are there. I'm just scrolling through. Yeah. So Felix is saying I'm an instrumentation student. I'm not. I'm a new to C programming. Yes, not a problem. Even if you are a instrumentation engineer and new to C programming and new to programming, you can very well learn. We'll teach you from scratch. Okay. Then STM32 ARM-based microcontroller currently in industry. Yes, so as Vikas is asking a question about STM32 ARM-based, as we already mentioned in the beginning, we are teaching programming in a generic way, and slowly we'll be transitioning to STM32 controller, which is having an ARM Cortex M4 platform and the like. We'll be transitioning from big microcontroller STM32 shortly. If you are likely enrolled in in the coming batches, you will be learning about ARM-based microcontroller programming as well. Okay. IoT batches also are part of our course. So Mufli is asking, is there any embedded system specialized course, not IoT, starting new? Yes, every month we start embedded system course, and we will be sharing the schedule in the end of the uh, session. So the offline batch is starting on 23rd. Similarly, we have online courses also starting in the next week. Akash is asking, is embedded testing also included? No, we are not covering exclusively about embedded testing, but we are covering mostly about embedded software development as part of the course. But when you work on projects, automatically you'll be writing code which are test driven, but we don't exclusively teach embedded testing as part of the course. I think I'm interested in automotive industry. So what are the opportunities? Pranesh is asking a question. I'm interested in automotive industry, and so what are the opportunities in the automotive domain, right? So if you look at the kind of modules which we're teaching modules which are generic in nature, and you can get a job in any of the companies who have embedded system requirements. So if you look at the companies which hire from us, majority of the companies which hire from us are automotive companies. And for automotive, we are teaching like microcontroller module in detail, and uh, modules like CAN protocol is covered exclusively, so that automotive companies will appreciate that CAN module also. But in general, learning embedded systems in general will give you like a base and foundation which will help you to get an opportunity in automotive companies as well. Then embedded C is, Sheikh Samir is asking, embedded C is taught in the course. Yes, embedded C is also taught. Felix is asking, may I know the working hours of classes? So typically we have batches running starting from 7:30 in the morning. There are multiple batches. I think Jayakumar will talk about it shortly. You can wait for a couple of minutes. Then you'll get the details about the batches also. I'm a third year student. I'm thinking of joining in the training. Yes, third year students also can join. They get an advantage because once they complete the course and they complete their academics also, they can directly apply for a job, and you can get placed sooner compared to students who are joining after completing the course. So that way you're getting a practical knowledge which industry requires even before completing your academics, right? That is always better. Sarchana is asking 2025 pass out. E and I, okay. MIT placed an instrumentation role in, is career shifting possible? Yes, career shifting is definitely possible. So you're a 2025 pass out that is recently passed out, and you can very well join this course to transition your career from instrumentation to a core embedded role. So why Linux is why Linux is used while teaching about the arrays. So we are not teaching like Linux for teaching C programming. We can use any operating system to learn C programming, right? It is just that the mentor used Linux, and Linux is quite popular among developers, so learning Linux will give an edge. You can very well use Windows to develop the C programs as well as microcontroller programs as well. So you can use Linux, you can use Windows, you can use Mac to develop the embedded applications. All will work. Okay. Duration internship, I think we already answered. Okay, Kiran is asking if we take online class, also software of the hardware components are available and accessible. Yes, they are available. All right. Then how about Java full stack, sir? We are not having Java full stack, but we have full stack course which is based upon mean stack. Okay, so there is a separate course in itself, Bhuvan. So there are many upskilling related questions. I'm 2024 pass out, working in MNC for 10 months. I want to upskill, right? So we have like, as I already mentioned, we have a separate batch for working professionals, which you can join. You can join along with your job. You don't have to discontinue your job. You can continue your job as well as you can take up that course and upskill yourself and eventually land up in a core job. Jagadish. About companies and placements, Jayakumar will be talking about it. Manikanda, you can wait for a couple of minutes. Aravind is asking in offline mode, if I miss regular classes, how can I cover up? Right. We generally encourage you to attend all the classes without missing it. In case you miss the offline classes, you can always talk to your friends and or to the mentors to cover up the topics, but recordings will not be provided. Neeraj is asking, I'm curious to know how Linux is taught in online batch. So Linux, right, we are expecting you to like install the necessary software before starting the course. Our system admin will guide you and make you install the necessary software, including Linux, and you can get a similar, basically, working environment. Like how the mentor is having a working environment, you'll also get a working environment, and you can practice applications on Linux as well. Not to worry about it. How to face the interviews, and I think these things will be discussed later. When you join the course, we'll be guiding you how to attend the interviews, interview tips, etc. will be given. Soft skill sessions are also conducted. Then, okay, let me just scroll through. Some questions are repeated. So placement related questions, I think Jayakumar will be answering. So Akash is asking about C++ is not in detail. So C++ also will be covered in detail. So C++ is kind of an extension of C. So C will be covered initially. Post which C++ related concepts are also covered, Akash. So after completing the course, what type of job role will you get? Embedded hardware or software? Nilesh, we are not teaching embedded hardware development like PCB design, etc. We are focusing on embedded software development primarily. So you'll get a job role in the embedded software or testing role. So some questions related to salary, etc. is given. So I think Jayakumar will address those things. If I join the next year, July, in the embedded system course, how many months will it take to place in a company? Okay. Again, some questions related to placements are there. So we expect the course to complete in 6 to 7 months, and you can very well apply towards the end of the course. You can start applying, and you can continue to apply for like another 2 years. But it totally depends upon your performance, how you are performing the course. The better you perform in the course, the sooner you'll get a job. Right? Individual to individual, the placements can vary. There are students who get placed before completing the course also. So if you are focused and doing well during the course, there is a chance that you will get placed before completing the course itself. Then, okay, job role, etc. Questions are asked. Okay, because it's asking why Python is not added in embedded system course. So if you see, we are in embedded system course, we didn't add Python. We added C and C++ in IoT course because the application side requires more of Python. We added in the IoT course. So learning a programming language is not that difficult. We have a base already. So if we are interested to learn about Python, yes, after completing embedded system course, we can very well explore and learn Python also. What kind of roles available? Okay, in offline mode, will we provide systems? Okay, so on the Nesara's asking, will you be providing systems as some are not accessible? Okay. Yes, we have seen of late that many of the students who join our course already have their laptops. So in case you don't have system with you, we can provide the desktop also. But we recommend you to get your own laptop so that you can practice the programs in your home also. Samit is asking about 1 month internship. This webinar is not about internship. Yes, we provide internship for students also. We can get in touch with our counselors regarding that. But if you're looking for 1 month internship for engineering students, we have that also. You can visit our website and have a look at it. Nihal is asking, ARTAS will be covered in detail. Yes, we are planning to cover ARTAS also as part of the course. We'll be rolling out sooner. So Jay, I think have answered many of the questions. There are questions related to placements. Maybe you can pick some of them.
All right, Mubeen, I think I will take it up from here. Thank you, Mubeen, for giving a detailed walkthrough about the course modules, delivery of the modules, doubt clearing, etc. So what I'll do is I will run through some slides with the placements in place. Then subsequently we can take some more questions, right? So let me share my screen once again and start with the placements. So if you look at our placement system, let me put it in the presentation mode. So as we hope my screen is visible, Mubin.
Yes, it's visible, Jay.
Okay, for students, let me just check. Wait for a minute. Yeah. So as we discussed, right, basically you will be going through a very systematic training program on a daily basis with the classes, labs, and preparation sessions and soft skill sessions, etc. So how the placement works? So basically, how the placement works, very simple and a very straightforward process that we have. As soon as you join the group, join the organization, you'll be added to a Google group. I'll show a demo of the group also shortly. So once you complete the core modules, basically with the programming modules which we say C, C++ and data structures and Linux systems, once you complete them, you can start applying for the placements. Along with that, you also need to clear a placement eligibility test conducted by our team of mentors. So that test ensures that you are ready for the placements, and then you can start applying. And once you start applying, basically it will reach an internal team, our placement team, where we'll be doing a first level filtering and then subsequently sharing the tracker or the list with our placement client, and they will subsequently shortlist and then notify us about the selection process. So when it comes to selection process, we expect to have it around 4 rounds at least to start with. It will be a written test followed by 1 or 2 rounds of technical interview followed by a HR or a management interview. So that's a typical pattern what that we see, and then the offer releases happens and then students can onboard. So here kindly note, there are two possibilities here. There is a possibility that student who is doing the course, so they get placed during the before the course gets over, because student can start applying for the placements after the fourth month, that is after the data success module. So in case if you're an offline students but you get placed, you get an opportunity to switch to the online mode where you can complete the pending modules, online evening mode specifically. Right? And there are other thing which Mubeen mentioned. There's a chance that you completed the course, you got some opportunities, but you could not convert. That way, you can still continue to apply for 2 more years, and then you can go for the placements. Right? So, any organization who hires from us, kindly note they expect you to join immediately, because they are not hiring like a campus interview where they are going to make you part of the futuristic project. Here they hire you for already existing or running product or a project. So that way an immediate onboarding is required. Suppose they select today, they won't expect you to, they expect you to join in 1 or 2 days. Of course, for the working professionals who are working with organizations who have some notice period, we encourage you to set a serve the notice period and then come. So companies will wait for the what do you call the working professionals, but the guys who are available for freshers or who are on a career break, etc. So they can join immediately. So this is an end-to-end placement process. Okay. So let me just quickly show you our Google groups, which I mentioned, where the applications are getting floated. Let me just uh, unshare for a minute and then share it again. So you can see the screen there, what is displayed. So this is typically our Google group. It's a typical group if you've been part of. So this particular group is where you'll be part of it once you join the course. Our team will be adding you here, and you can see there are a lot of communication happens here almost on a daily basis. The applications are floated, or some shortlisting happening there, or somebody's getting selected. Right? So pretty much you can see the apply now are the ones, the new application, and there's a schedule that is getting created. It is not only the schedule getting created. Basically, our placement team will also create a separate discussion forum where the previously discussed questions will be shared, and then they will for example, the coordinator schedule, some student may be having schedule in the morning, evening. So our placement team will take care by working with you very closely. Okay. So this is a you can see here. Okay, the applications are floated almost on a daily basis, right? Okay, it goes on and on. Okay. You can see a case here. So now let's take maybe one example and then see how it looks in terms of the placement application. Let us say, for example, there are many applications out there. Let us take reasonably, somebody was talking about an automotive. Let us see any automotive companies are there here. Okay, there is a Inlac. Okay, this HL Mando is a it's an automotive company. Let us see when it got floated. You can see here. Or you can say just search for this. Yeah, you can see here it got floated some time back. So you can see this is the kind of a company, HL Mando Softech. So all the information, whatever about the placement, will be shared to you in an open and transparent manner. And then whatever the conditions from the company in terms of the role, in terms of the aging of the role, and then as Mubeen was mentioning, companies will look for a particular module to be completed from your side. For example, here you can tell this company is looking for students who completed the C and microcontroller module. In case if you're an embedded student, in case if you're an IoT student, they would expect you to complete the C and Arduino modules, right? And then you can see here basically the year of pass out 23, 24, 25, they're open to hire, and 60% throughout the academics. BTech only can apply, because sometimes we also get MCAs or MTechs, very rare, but most of them are BTech students only. So somebody was also asking about branches. You can see here ECEEE, EIE, ETE, mechatronics also can apply. It is a branch specific criteria that company is having. Right? So basically, there is a compensation of 5 lakhs, and there is a 2-year bond. Entry will be more online, and the job location will be offline. Basically, you will be working from Gurgaon. And then there is a deadline which was given and the link which is given. So if you click this link, it will lead you to a placement application form where you can start applying. So like this, every application is templatized. Almost all the information, as we saw, is getting shared there. Let us take one more example, probably see whether it makes sense. Let us see uh, conversations. So you can just check maybe BPL Technologies. BPL, as you all know, it's one of the oldest electronics company in India, but they kind of earlier they used to make TVs and all. Recently, they've taken a new avatar by having the medical devices. So they are coming here. So you can see here this company, similar skill set, year of also 24, 25, and no percentage criteria they are telling. So based on our analysis, we have about 40 percentage of the companies who hire any year of pass out and any percentage. Right? And you can see here there is a salary range it is given depending on your performance. They'll decide which range to fit in, and then there's a 1 year bond, and interview will be happening on the one day at the client's place, and it will be work from office Bangalore. Of course, work from office every day. Everybody's become like that. Right? So it was 19th was the cutoff 2 days back. So like that, every information will be published, and added to that, our team will also create necessary additional groups so that they kind of support you by keeping you posted about who is attending the first round, who is attending the second round, etc. So this is a simple example of how our live our live Google groups looks like. Moving on, some of the FAQs. I think questions are there. Let me answer some FAQs, then we can see whether we can map it to that. I think somebody already asked this question. Still, how long you will get the placement support? It is for 2 years from the time you complete the course, but you can start applying after the fourth month. That is data structures module. Can you choose between two job offers? No. In Emertxe, we have the concept of one job offer. That means you can apply for multiple companies, but whichever offer comes first, you need to take it up because we commit 100% joining rate to the companies. In case any student goes for a multiple offers, he may not be able to honor two offers. So he may reject one of the offer, which is not the desired criteria. So that is why basically we students, you can apply for many companies, but whichever companies comes first, you need to take it up. And there is no force in which company to apply or not apply. Should I apply to all companies? As I said, it's your choice. Okay. What type of companies are asking? I just showed some examples. These companies are predominantly in the semiconductor space or in the devices shape space, right? So when I say semiconductor space, they're in the process of creating or manufacture, design and manufacturing of chipsets or reference boards. For example, company like Qualcomm, NXP, Microchip, and these type of companies are falling into that category. Whereas a lot of companies are there who are a product company, so who are involved in developing automotive companies. Somebody asked, right? In automotive, we have the traditional automotive companies, and also we have EV companies, electric vehicle companies, which hire our students. And there are other domains like, for example, robotics, networking and telecommunication, consumer electronic company like LG. Right? So like that, there are a lot of domain of companies that are hiring. You just saw the Google group. Later, probably you can go through all the websites and figure it out which domain or which vertical they are coming from. Okay. So I'm having year gap. Will it affect my placements? I think this will be a typical question. Either 1 year gap, 2 year gap, due to any reasons, due to personal reasons, due to health reasons, whatever it could be. Absolutely no worries. Companies do look for skill set, and as long as you're able to demonstrate the skill set, they're willing to give you the opportunity. Not only the opportunity, they are also will give you the job. Okay. So absolutely nothing to worry here. Okay. So notice period, as I already said, no worries. You can can complete the notice period and then join. For the working professionals, the hiring companies can wait. Having said that, try to minimize that. Try to probably negotiate with your current employer. Do a transition faster so that you can get into the newer company easier. Okay. So this is some of the FAQs. I'll come to the some pending questions shortly. And added to that, you also would have heard about Emertxe has been an affiliated institution with the NSDC. Basically, NSDC stands for National Skill Development Corporation, which comes under the Skill India initiative of Government of India, under the Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship. So this particular basically institution, under that the NSDC, we have a lot of the skill sector council or sector skills councils. So we come under the Electronic Sector Skill Council of India, or ESSEI. So where after you complete the course, you can apply for a certification with this institution. So they will come and do a evaluation in terms of a written test and Viva OC. So once you clear that, they'll be giving certificate from the central government. Okay, so that's a example of that. And apart from that, we'll also be getting certificate from Emertxe. So let me just quickly show you the NSDC certificate. Give me a second. Let me go unshare my screen and pull up the certificate for you. I hope you're able to see the screen now, where the certificate is displayed. This one example of how one of our students got certified. You can see all the logos there: Skill India, Ministry of Skill Development and Entrepreneurship, National Skill Development Corporation, etc. And it is also from the ESSCA, Electronic Skills Sector Council of India. And on top of it, we'll also putting our institution seal and give it to you. So this is actually certified under the electronics embedded software engineering under the National Skill Development Framework, or NSQ 5. Okay. So that's a fifth level certificate that we get. Okay. So this is a very good opportunity for you. But as I said, apart from that, we also give certification from Emertxe. Okay. So someone was asking about the course dates. So let us also check the course dates. So to July 23rd, that is day after tomorrow, we are starting our offline course, where it will be coming to center and learning. 29th, we are starting our online course. Online, we say online morning or online evening course. So online morning course we are starting on July 29th. Online evening course, ideally suitable for working professionals. So that is starting on August 2nd. Any questions about the dates, fees, and any other payment related terms, we request you to talk to our team of counselors directly. There is an email ID and phone number there. You can see training@emertxe.com or 809 555 7332. You can call in any of the coordinates. So it will reach one of our counselors. So they will be glad to clarify any information that you need. And apart from that, if some of you are willing to come down to the center and take the counseling, you are most welcome. I'll also share our address in the subsequent slide. We are based out of MG Road near the metro station. You can also walk in, meet our counselors anytime in our working duration and take the counseling. Okay. And as I said, these are coordinates. We are based out of MG Road. 83 Farah Towers is the main building. We have two more buildings, but our main operations from the Farah Towers only. You can come there, first floor, and then meet our team of counselors. And we're also active in Instagram and in LinkedIn. We post a lot of placement related updates, as I showed in the beginning of the webinar. The latest placement information, we just refer to the Instagram page itself. Similarly, we post a lot in the LinkedIn pages also. You can very well look into them and keep yourself updated with what's happening in Emertxe. And we also post a lot of awareness information, career tips and tricks, etc. So you can go through all of them. Okay. So that's a brief about what we have. Now what we'll do, we will just go ahead and look into the pending questions that we have. Let me see what are the pending questions. Um, so let me take some pending questions here. So I will pass out in 2026. Is there any companies who is in the final year, right? So Vignesh, you can very well take the course, but kindly note, as I mentioned in the beginning, so a few minutes back, companies expect you to join immediately. So I suggest you join the course. So definitely you are in an advantageous state, because by the time you are in your final year, you're way ahead of your friends. But important thing is, when you start applying for placements, companies would expect you to complete the degree, okay, and have a provisional degree certificate. So once you get your PDC, then you can start applying for your placements. In fact, the 2025 market also not yet open fully, because students are just coming out. In fact, in our latest monthly meeting, we reached out to all the students who completed the degree. We told them to basically, complete their, complete their PDC process and then start applying. Okay. Hope that clarifies, Vignesh. So Nandana is asking about fee structure. Nandana, as I already told you, please get in touch with the team of counselors. Let me flash the numbers once again. You can get in touch with them. They will be explaining about the fee structure. Okay. Narsimha is asking, what is the timing for offline class? I guess Mubeen already clarified. Our classes starts from as early as 7:30 in the morning. And so typically classes run for about 4 hours, 7:30 to 11:30, 11:30 to 2:30 or so, 2:30 to 6:30, something of that sort. Here and there, some breaks will be there. So we run 3 shifts or 3 slots on a daily basis. So depending on wherever the vacancy is available, wherever seats are available, you will be allocated for that batch. We do take preferences of the students. If possible, to allocate the admission, we'll do that. Otherwise, we'll be giving you the admission whenever the slot is available. Okay. Hope that's clear. Narsimha, because it's asking, I am working professional expecting course mostly hands-on experience. So online courses, is there any chance of getting actual hardware for programming on the real hands-on experience? See, because we tried these options, but online there are a lot of complications in terms of making the hardware available to you. Having said that, the hardware whichever we are using, they are very much available everywhere. You can very well know whatever. See, from a course effectiveness point of view, as Mubeen has already clarified, as long as you are following in the simulator or emulator which you teach, it will not have any issues. You can very well use the same emulator and learn very well. But still, if you want to really get a kick of the real hardware and things like that, you are most welcome to buy those boards. You can also share the links. There are e-commerce options available. You can select and buy those boards. So that would be the best option, I would say. Okay. So Shaikh Samir asking, I'm thinking, let me just see his question. Fourth year, first semester, the embedded systems course. So we get placed in the fourth month only. I need to complete a degree or not? I think I just clarified the other question from, I guess, Narsima or yeah, other person. So Shaikh, you have to complete your engineering, then only you can apply. Okay. You can very well join the fourth year first sem, complete the modules, at least I aim for 10 to 15 projects, make your resume solid, but just wait until you get a PDC, then you apply. So you don't get into the confusion of whether you should complete your degree or not. You must complete your degree. Okay. Hope that's clear. So can I register for the online course tomorrow? Arshit is asking. Yes, Arshit, you are most welcome. You can register and then also get in touch with counselors. They'll clarify you in terms of the fee payment, and there are some onboarding formalities are there. They will be helping you. So Raksha is asking, when will the next batch start after August? Every month you are starting a new batch. Yes, that's correct, Raksha. So typically we start the batch in the last week of every month. This month you can see 23, 29 and August 2nd are the dates. You can expect the similar dates in the month of August, the last week of August. So what we do is like we close admission for a month, then we publish the dates. So probably once we close it for August 2nd, right? After that you can check our website or you can check our counselors. They'll be able to tell you the August dates. But as of now, we are open for July admissions. Vikas is asking, I want to start with the STM32 or ARM-based systems. Could you please confirm when courses based on controller will get started? So we start, we don't have a timeline because I would say efforts are already on, but there are certain, internal preparation work that we are doing. If you ask me, right, we would like to start as soon as possible. Okay, that's what I would say. But I don't have exact timelines because there is a lot of, we need to make things internally available. We are working towards that. Okay. Then let me see some more questions. Arshit is asking, size the placement drive will be online or offline? Both, Arshit. It depends on the client's preferences. You already saw the placement application which I shown you the Google group. Some are conducting offline and some are conducting offline. Okay. So Vijay is asking, sir, MCA students are eligible for the course? Not necessarily, Vijay, because this is more of a electronics ecosystem. So people would expect you to at least have a B Tech or ME, MTech, or I would say even an MS electronics we do, right? EMCA is quite challenging because in terms of certain hardware knowledge, etc., companies are a bit hesitant to compare the MCA students. So I would suggest you go for more of a application-based courses. For example, we also offer a full stack web development course. So I would recommend you take up that. Okay. Will offline lectures will be available after February 2026? I don't know what you mean by offline lectures. I hope you are talking about the recorded videos. I don't know what you're talking about. Is Vaishnavi? You can clarify me. Let me see some more questions. Okay, Arvind is asking, in case the interview company want to hire one person, how did you prefer that person? So we see, Arvind, we keep sharing the list of candidates. You saw the placement process. We open up the window, students will apply, and we share the list, right? So now when the company want to select whether one person, two-person, or 25%, it is up to them. Okay. And sometimes what they do, they also come back and ask, right? Given the list, whatever you share, they may ask for additional information. Who are the best performing top 10 people, who are the best performing top 20 people, right? So depending on your course performance, we'll be sharing you that information. So that also becomes one of the important attribute for you to get selected. Okay. So we leave it to the company to the company. We don't force them anything. Okay. Okay. Let us see any other questions. Okay. Chetan is asking, sir, in the next few days, my MSc Electronics will be complete. Whether I am eligible to embedded system course in August? Yes, you can. Okay. As I said, BE, Tech and MSc Electronics are eligible. Ashit is asking, sir, can you register for online course from tomorrow? I think we clarified already. Let's see, anything is missing. Okay. Sir, is the placement group is same for offline and online students? Yes, sir. All of you will be under the same group. Okay. Akash is asking if we place an interview, can we give multiple interview for a better package? No, I think I already clarified. You can attend the multiple interviews, but you need to choose only one job. Okay. So generally, we don't allow multiple offers here. Let me check. Hope it is fine. Let us go up again. So demo session for full stack, it will be there, Vijay. You can check with our same counselors. They will tell you a date where we'll be, providing you with the demo for full stack. Uh, Rishi Kumar asking what kind of job roles are available in companies. Okay, I guess I'll use one slide which typically use an induction, but since you're asking curiously, let me share you once again. Give me a second. Let me take up that slide for you. All right. So we use this job role. Let me put this role. This we use in induction class, but anyway, it doesn't matter. So we consider this as like a vertical and horizontal. Okay. So automotive, robotics, consumer, networking, semicon, EV. These are some of the verticals, what we call, or you can also call it as a domain. So here companies hire for different roles. For example, companies may hire you for a testing or a verification role. They may hire you for a maintenance and bug fixing role, or they want to develop a new application, they can hire you an embedded application, or they want to do a middleware like OS, bring up porting, etc. They can hire you, or they want to have a requirement of low level firmware, okay, board bring up, device driver, etc. They can hire. So this is about the thing. So what we say to the students is your career will be a combination of vertical and horizontal. For example, an automotive company may hire for a maintenance project, right? A robotics company may, they are bringing up a new hardware, they will need you here, right? A consumer electronic company hiring for a testing role. Networking company, they want to hire for a, this thing, right? Maintenance bug fixing. Semiconductor company, they want to hire a new application. EV company, they are looking at a operating system like this. I'm just giving an example. This could be a combination. And if you see the list of companies which is shown in the Google group, right, each one of them belong to any one of these verticals. And there are also cases where a company will hire, let us say, 10 students from us, right? They will deploy some of them in the low level, some of them in the middle level, some of them in the testing. It all depends on the openings where they have. Okay. But this is how eventually the career path looks like for our students. You get into a horizontal and a vertical combination. It's like a matrix, no, row and column combination. Okay, so that's hope it clarifies. So this typically we share it in the induction class. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Good that you asked this question. So let us take some more questions. So does joining in 4.1 or 4.2, which is better? I suggest in 4.1 or even earlier strike. Okay, because see, it's a 6 months course. Your college also will have certain requirements, right? In between, you may need to go. There will be some academic requirements. So earlier you join, the better it is. What kind of materials you provide for offline students, right? See, for offline and online students, the material remains exactly the same, except that for the online students, we'll be giving you the recorded sessions. That's all. Apart from that, we'll be giving you the course presentation slides, sample programs, assignment programs, right? Assignment questions, basically project related things, preparation materials, test materials, right? Tons of things they'll be sharing, and all of them they'll be sharing via the LMS itself, learning management system itself. Okay, Arvind, hope it's clear. Vikas is asking if someone is having 8+ years of experience and wanted to get job, job via Emertxe, what are the chances? Okay, so 8+ in the sense that is on the higher side, because see what we see in general, the students who are taking up our courses, they would fall in the bracket of 1 to 3 year experience, or here and there, maybe they can go even up to 4 to 5 years. Because when you're talking about 8+, I'm not sure whether it's you're asking for yourself some other, because 8+ means basically they may expect even more. Okay, so what I suggest is along with doing the course, You can also suggest you some advanced topics, because 8 plus generally they expect you to play a role of a lead engineer. Okay. So that requires even a technically deeper skill set. So that's what I would say. But largely our course caters to the 1 to 3 year experienced candidates or students. Senthil is asking IT and core, which is for peak level. I don't know what you mean by peak level. So every career is having a good opportunities, but currently you know that IT is going through a lot of challenges due to many reasons, the global economy, you know, geopolitical situations, etc. So currently, even though there's a situation is quite challenging, as I showed in the beginning, the companies are hiring our students. So as of now, the electronics or the semiconductor domain looks pretty good. Offline notes, students will be provided with notes. See, lot of things will be given, Akash. When I say notes, I don't know what I mean by notes. For example, we don't give any hard copies, for example, right? Like a college, right? Everything will be shared via soft copies only. Okay? But be rest assured, they'll give you more than enough. Whether you're an online or offline student, they'll give more than enough to for your day-to-day studies, and also placement preparation. Everything they'll give you more than enough. Don't worry. We have tons of contents with us. Okay. Okay, thank you very much, guys. Hope I answered all the questions. Is there any other questions? In case your question is not answered, I know it's been a long list of questions. Mubeen answered some, I answered, some of them. In case if I missed anything, and if your question is unanswered, you can still put it once again so that we can answer. Any other questions? Hope you got a clarity about how things are working. Unfortunately, I'm not able to turn on my camera today. There is some glitch here. I'm not able to do that. Typically, otherwise, I also come in the camera along with me moving. What is the maximum member per batch? So, Vignesh, we tend to keep it around 40. 40 is our ratio. Maximum we can push, few numbers here and there, but not beyond that. Don't worry, we not make it 100 or 80, 90 and all. We don't do that. Okay? 40 is our comfortable number, but sometimes, as I said, some students demand. Okay, few numbers we add here and there. That's it. If you see our college, as at first they saw we provide placement, and and we see one company will take 150 to 200 students in interview, but in end up 3 or 4 members. Can you please tell me how to stand out? Okay, so that's a good question, Nikhil. Whether it's at a college or Emertxe, right? Anywhere you go, kindly note there are two things which you cannot avoid. Okay, so one thing is the competition. For example, so many of you are asking me questions. In fact, when I meet in the induction, this is what I tell them. Hey, you are all good friends, and we also see some of the college friends come and join in the same class. Okay, they'll be studying in the college, and they're studying in the same bench in Emertxe also. Okay, really happy to see such things. But I tell them, what? When you go to a job, you both are competitors to the same job. So kindly note, it is a competitive world, right? Having said that, how do you differentiate yourself with your friend? Okay. So the best way to differentiate with your friend or anybody in the batch is to differentiate yourself with a skill set. So skill set also these days we are becoming very simple and very clear. Work on more projects. For example, we are pushing all the students to work on minimum of 10 projects. Okay, we also have students who are working on 15 projects, 12 projects, 16 projects some cases. The more projects that you do, your resume will look very different. And not only the resume will look different, your confidence level also will be very different. So that way you have a much more higher chance of getting placed. Okay. Hope that's clear, Nikhil. Okay. So I am past student of your embedded system course. After completing it, I moved iOS application development due to business needs. However, I am now planning to return to embedded IoT domain. I am considering your IoT course. Could you please clarify how is the placement support for IoT course participants? Do companies actively hire IoT specific roles? Will my past experience embedded course on iOS will be helpful in the placements? Asking by Manikanta. Thanks for asking that question, Manikanta. Good to know that you are our past student. Having said that, you moved on to a different domain. We see that students make some choices and then they also come back like you. So to clarify your questions, right? If you see largely the placement opportunities are equal for the both IoT and the embedded courses. You can see you saw the placement application, right? It's a ECEP/ECIP. Okay, that's point number one. You can anyways, I'm sure if you're past students, you will also have the access to your Google group, right? We not remove any students. You can still go and check. Okay. So actually, they hire for both embedded and IoT roles. But what I suggest is, by if you take an IoT, you have an edge in terms of skill set because you are going to learn about Python and also learn about the IoT cloud and IoT platforms, etc. So that would actually helpful for you to basically have a better career in the long run. So that way, if you're going for an IoT, that's very good. Coming to your past experience, I would say, coming connecting to the previous question, right? How my past experience would be considered. Okay, so that I would say it depends on how well you perform in the interview. For example, if you've done whatever, if it's say you part of an IoT course, you work on, let us say, 15 projects, then you impress the interviewer with your skill set, right? So definitely they'll consider your past experience. How they will consider, for example, if you have 2 years of iOS experience, how they will consider as an how many years they'll consider an embedded system experience, that it depends on the company, but they do consider. Okay, what I've seen cases where, let us say, a company hires two students, a pure fresher just out of the college and a person like you, right? And they see you that you bring in something additional to the table, they tend to fit you on the higher salary band. Okay, not only on a, they'll give you a job, they'll also fit you in a higher salary band. We are seeing that happen. My request is ensure that you do really well in our current embedded systems or IoT course. All right. Oh, still questions are coming. What is the salary expected for a 2023 pass out? So Mithun, it's pretty hard for me to quantify something like that. It depends on your skill level and also if you have some previous experience that may come into picture. Okay. So that way I'll not be able to exactly predict what will be your thing. But the higher the skill set you have, the probability of you landing in a higher salary job is higher. I would put it like that. Okay. What about labs and tools for online C course? I think Mubeen has clearly explained whatever we do in the online, the similar tools will be given for the offline and online students also. Just that here you will be learning about the simulators. That's all. In offline mode, if I miss regular class, how can I cover it up? I think Mubeen has already answered this question. Okay. Okay. Placements only for who joined the course, right, sir? Or even postings on Instagram and LinkedIn? Okay. See, all the guys who are we are posting, they're all joined. Okay. Nobody will give placement just like that. But we are encouraging our students to start posting in LinkedIn because they get a visibility to the companies. These days, it's not only about doing; it's also about talking. Yeah, in Hindi they say, right? जो दिखता नहीं है वो बिकता नहीं है, right? Or whatever you cannot say, you cannot sell. So we are encouraging the students in the recent past, I would say last 1 month or so, whatever they're doing in Emertxe, we are encouraging them to post it in LinkedIn, okay, not on Instagram. Okay. But whoever has done the course, only we're getting places, and those are the photos we are publishing officially in our channel. Okay. Okay, Ravina Nair, can placements be only applied for by students having BTech degree certificate, or can students awaiting the results also can apply for placements? Right? I think I already clarified this. Okay, I don't say degree certificate, even a provisional degree certificate can help, or even we are waiting for the results also can apply. Okay, no, sorry. You get the PDC, then only you can apply. Okay. Because when you join on day one, companies would expect you to produce a provisional degree certificate, if not the real final degree. I know the real degree certificate takes some time, but at least they expect you to produce a PDC. Okay. Uh, okay. Vignesh is asking, what does the project mean? I think everyone do the same project, isn't it? That's correct. See, what happens is in every module, right, we'll be giving a project, a mentor will be assigning a project for a batch. All the students will be doing the same project in an independent fashion. But project will be giving you a real-time learning experience. Whatever you learned in the module, you will be applying. So that way, those projects are derived based on the industry use case. So that way, the experience that you will be getting from working on those projects is very much enriching. And of course, these questions we also get asked by our placement companies also, saying that look, all the projects are looking similar. Whatever the students invited, we said don't go by that. Okay, evaluate our students on how well they done the project. For example, any student can copy paste that I worked on 10 project, right? When they ask in the interview, only the real guy who worked on it and whatever the challenge that they faced, whatever the debugging they had done, only they'll be able to express and get a job. Okay? So yes, we give the same projects for everybody, and not only that, right? Once you complete the project, the more projects that you do, it's going to be more advantageous for you, Vignesh. How frequent high-paid companies visit Emergee? See, Jagadish, again it depends on what you mean by high-paid. For somebody, 4 lakh will be a high-paid. Somebody 10 lakh will be a high-paid. It depends on a month, but in general, we see every month we have some or other them coming in. Okay, okay. You can look into our Google group only and figure it out, I would say. Okay. So how would rate your placement team? Because I have done course on Java, but from them I could not get opportunity. Nikhil is asking. See, Nikhil, there are two aspects to it. Let me answer your question two ways, right? Of course, we cannot comment on any other institutions where you've done Java course. We can only talk on behalf of our team, right? So, what is our placements team's efforts? Our placements team's efforts is to ensure that our students get the maximum number of opportunities. Okay, so that way they are very efficiently reach out to companies on a daily basis. I also lead placements, if you see in the beginning, right, to ensure that our students are getting opportunities. Okay, so people do get opportunities. There's no doubt about it. But of course, the other part, as I said, it depends on how well you are going to perform there. Okay, so recently some students were a little bit aggressive. They come and say, look, when you like get a lot of questions they ask, and he said wait for some time and apply. And when they applied, they could not even conduct the clear the written test. Right? So performance is your responsibility. Placement is our responsibility. Okay, in terms of rating, if you ask me, how well you are doing, I would say we are doing good. Okay, I don't say we are doing very good or excellent, because I need to be considerate about the current market situation also. But we are doing pretty good in terms of getting the companies. Okay, almost they, because you saw the Google group itself, right, to see the opportunity. I hope that clarifies. Vidhi is asking, with no prior experience, a good basic understanding in electronics in C++. That's fine, Nibidam. You come with a zero knowledge, that's absolutely fine. All our courses start with a no background. Okay, you don't need to do anything. Just come with a learning mindset. You okay. All right, thank you very much. I think a lot of questions. Let me wait. Is there any other questions, guys? I can answer. I know it's 9:30. We overshot by 30 minutes. That's fine, because we need to answer all your queries. All right, looks like none. Okay. So thank you very much for all your wonderful questions. For me, largely the question and answer is what keeps my motivations high. The slides pretty much remain the same. We change some placement numbers and the course dates here and there. Apart from that, everything will remain the same. But every time I present or Mubeen present this course demo webinar, your questions is what makes it very interesting for us, because we also learn a lot. It's not that you learn by asking questions. We also learn a lot. So thank you very much for all of you by keeping this session very active. And I tell this silver bullet end of every webinar. Our sincere attempt, what are we Moving and me are trying to do? Our sincere attempt every month. You can go and see all the past monthly video. It's all available in YouTube, open links, right? Our idea is to do our level best on a month-on-month basis to share you with the right set of information, and to present what exactly is happening in this industry. So, but as far as your career is concerned, I would say you are the best decision maker. I'm not telling you only should do embedded course, and you should only should do XYZ course and all, right. That is not the right recommendation. Okay. So you are when it comes to your career, you are the best decision maker. You are the boss, rather you are the CEO, whatever you can say. Whatever decision you make, our idea is to ensure that you make an informed decision, okay, by listening to the right set of people. Because often I see people take a quick shortcut route, and then they come back to us again, right? Or they take something which doesn't work in the long run. So you wanted to do, all of you will be early 20s. We want you to work in the next, God willing, right, next 35 40 years. You guys build a wonderful career in this industry. Okay. So in this regard, our idea is to share you the right set of information. Hope you have done that. With that, we'd like to welcome you to the new possibilities, the possibilities of embedded systems world, the semiconductor and devices opportunity that is there in front of you. Take your time and make your choice. and whatever choice you make, right? Whether you join Emertxe, don't join Emertxe, you take embedded, doesn't take embedded, or you go into a different course, doesn't matter. On behalf of Emertxe, I wish you all the very best. Whatever you do, I'm sure all of you will do very well. You're all very talented kids. It's just a matter of giving you the right set of guidance and mentoring, which is what we do as a part of this webinar. Hope this webinar has given you some perspectives, right? Any quick feedback, anything that you want to share? I'm seeing, and Nesara is thanking, and then Strike is also thanking. Thank you. So, any other messages, any feedback? I hope this webinar was helpful to all of you. At least give you clarity. Okay, looks like that's it. All right. So, thank you very much, guys. Once again, wish you all the best. See you later.